You're listening to Entrepreneur Encounter, the podcast where soft skills meet real talk for creative business owners who are building with purpose. I'm Dana, a Pinterest marketing strategist and agency owner helping wedding pros and creative entrepreneurs get seen without burning out.
And I'm Sarah, a business and team strategist who helps small teams and podcasters communicate clearly, lead with empathy, and grow sustainably. Together, we're unpacking the messy, meaningful side of entrepreneurship, from boundaries to burnout, leadership to listening, so you can build a business that actually fits your life.
You ever catch yourself waiting for the perfect opportunity to show up?
Oh yeah, like waiting for someone to notice your work, give you the green lights, say, yes, you are allowed to do this next big project.
Meanwhile, weeks go by and nothing happens. And at some point you realize no one's coming to save your business. You've got to create your own momentum on your own. And this is the power of initiative. It's not just about doing more, which is what many of us entrepreneurs think is the problem, is we're not doing enough. It's actually deciding I'm not waiting for permission anymore to do the thing, the big thing, the make money thing. You need to give yourself permission to charge what you want to charge, or to add the revenue stream in your business that is going to bring you that balance that you so need in your life.
And today we're talking about what it looks like to move beyond the brief, how to spot an opportunity, act on it, and build trust by showing up before anyone asks.
Because let's be real, the people who succeed, those influencers, those business gurus that we watch day in and day out, they're not always the most talented. They're the ones who are just taking initiative and taking action on the things that they want to achieve. So glad you're here, entrepreneurs. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the conversations that will help you grow and stay grounded. Let's jump in.
Okay, so I have to admit something. I used to wait for people to ask me to do something, ask me to step up before I did anything.
Same. I used to think of being a good team player meant waiting for direction as opposed to providing leadership.
Right? I mean, I didn't realize that by waiting, I was actually keeping myself small. I've been in situations before where I'm waiting, what do you want me to do next? And especially if as somebody that works in a traditional 9-to-5 job, and if you're not in leadership roles, there are many times when you're waiting to be told what to do. But like Dana said, taking that initiative is going to show whoever you're working with that, yeah, they know what they're doing. They have initiative. They want to be here. They are showing the passion and the work they're doing.
I used to call that to my close friends. I was I'm looking for the adultier adult in the room to tell me what to do next. I don't want to make this decision. Someone else needs to be my parent, even though I am a parent. So initiative, along the same lines, initiative isn't about stepping on toes. It's just honestly everyday life of seeing what needs to be done and then doing it. It's doing an audit of your energy or your time or whatever, a money audit, and doing what needs to be done to get you to the goal or the finish line of where you're going.
Exactly. And now with that, I want to give an example because this recently just happened to me, honestly. As you may know or may not know, I started a part-time job, and obviously being an entrepreneur, I have different skills than I would think that people that don't own a business, because owning a business, you are in control. You have to take the initiative. You have discipline. And in this job, I overhear things. I see things in the emails and our project management system, all the things. I'm okay, I can do this. I can do this without somebody asking me to do this. Because initially when you get a job, again, you're waiting for people to tell you what to do. And I got things done. And I remember, I think a couple weeks ago, the manager came in and was hey, this is the things that need to be done today. I'm like, they're done. They're done already. Like, and they were like taken aback, but it's more like, common sense. What needs to get done? If it hasn't gotten done and you know how to get it done, get it done. Like,
It was simple stuff like create your business name. Well, they can't do that for me. I still have to take initiative to complete that task. And once you get past that basic level and you're in that scale growth phase, you make the to-do list because no one else's to-do list is going to fit your mold. That's just like all marketing strategies work. They do.
mm-hmm.
You just have to find the one that fits your season of life and your lifestyle the best. Just like all time management systems work. If not, no one will be making money off of them. But you have to find the system that works for you, or you have to take pieces from multiple different systems and piece it together to create your own system. But it's all personal. So if you sit around waiting for someone to tell you, all right, now it's time to launch, or now it's time to pitch, or now it's time to try that new idea, you'll stay in the same spot forever. Or you'll wake up having some major regrets or feeling super behind. And that one hits super close to home to me because the style pin collection was something that like I had come up with when I first started dabbling into Pinterest, because I was like, why are there no graphics out here? I only saw subscription-based services for Instagram. And I was like doing my market research, and I let one person tell me it's not a good idea. And for wedding industry, for like wedding professionals, you don't need the text overlay. You don't need this style of XYZ because you only want to show just a graphic. And I let that slow me down. I didn't launch. I didn't pitch. I honestly put it completely on the back burner. And it wasn't until like 6 months later that I'd hopped on a call with Pinterest, like an account manager from Pinterest Direct. And they were like, no, you need text overlay. Like people can look at a picture, but they don't know what they're looking at. Like just like a recipe. You can look at this beautifully plated pork tenderloin, but what feelings are you trying to invoke from that? Or what problem are you solving with this plate of food? You need text overlay. And it's the same thing with weddings. You can have a beautiful arch and backdrop, but what are they really looking at? Are they looking at a romantic floral garden, or is this leading to a lead magnet where it's solving a pain point or inspiring them? Who knows? Like you have to tell them what they're looking at and you have to guide them. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, forget it. Here's my permission slip. We're launching. And within like 2 weeks, that name was out there and I was starting to talk to people about it because I was like, I should never have waited 6 months. Never.
Yeah, no, and that's you taking the initiative. It's crazy how like there's so many things that are going on in whatever industry that you're in, and someone's, well, that's not going to work. So for me, I remember when I started with my first client in the podcast space. Obviously, I was never in the podcast space, but I know business management. I know admin. At first when she became my client, I was just writing show notes. And then I was like, I know that I can use my skills. I know I can use my admin skills, my operation skills to help her business grow. 5 years later, I'm still with her as her operations manager, working behind the scenes because I took the initiative and said, hey, like, you're running the show, but what if you step back and I run it and you can focus on your clients? And because at first it seemed like she was in a chaotic spot. Nothing on her. She wasn't doing anything wrong. She was managing everything by herself. She was managing a team of 5 people. And I was like, no, you're not doing that anymore. So I created systems for her. And then now the rest is history. So taking that step and filling the gaps, taking the initiative, not listening to what other people say because X, Y, and Z apparently doesn't work, and doing your own research and talking to experts like you did with Pinterest, you get more information because yes, we can say that we know these things, but it's on us to figure it out and do the research and talk to people that own the company essentially, like, hey, like what's going on with this?
I think something else that's wild is that most people dream or envision wanting to take initiative, but they hold back out of some sort of fear, and myself included. I know I've mentioned this on a few episodes, and I don't shy away from admitting that, but it could be fear of overstepping. It could be fear of what are my friends and family going to think of me doing all of these potentially amazing things. It could be fear of getting it wrong. It could be fear of getting it right. In my case, like I fear success because I like the
Oh yeah.
thought of everyone looking at me makes my skin crawl. But we work through that. But it could also be fear of being seen as too much for some people. And the hard truth is you are too much for someone. And who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares?
Because that just means you gotta write for someone else. You are just the right amount of spunk, passion. Enter your descriptive word for some other person who needs that. And initiative is one of those most respected qualities in business. Like we wouldn't love and adore the people that we watch on social media. Shout out Jenna Kutcher or Brandy Mowles or anyone else that I love and adore watching them do the dang thing because they're taking ownership and it's inspiring me. Like I can do that too.
It is inspiring, and I hope that our show, Dana and I, can be inspiration for anybody that's listening or watching us, because a lot of the times we want to look up to people, but we're not entirely sure. Another thing too, like don't wait for permission. You can seek the clarity. Like, hey, I noticed this. Mind if I try something? So I've done this with my clients. Like, hey, I noticed that these SOPs, the standard operating procedures, are not working clearly. I'm going to go back and look at all the steps and get it to where it's understandable and for the people that are going to come in and do these tasks. But you don't have to freeze waiting for that perfect yes. Give yourself permission. If you are seeing that a client or whomever you're, in your space that is maybe struggling or they're venting about, I'm having trouble with, I'm drowning in this, or whatever it is, and you have, your brain starts going. I know I've had that happen before. I'm like, okay, so I hear all this stuff, and without them knowing, I'll like create like a list, like, okay, maybe this X, Y, and Z can help. And I've done that. I've sent out like ideas to my clients and they're like, yeah, let's do that, because they are going to see that you're taking that initiative. And I think it's amazing. And this goes back to, I believe, no stupid question is stupid. Like no question is stupid, because if you don't ask the question, you'll never know. Like ask all the questions. I've been told I asked too many questions, but if I
Same
didn't,
girl.
if I didn't ask the questions, like how would I know? Like
Mm-hmm.
what's the issue with that? So that's you showing up, showing that you care, and that you are wanting to grow within your business or whatever role that you're in.
I think honing on the fear of getting it wrong or not doing it perfect or whatever, I think even imperfect movement builds momentum and then it gives you something to learn. Because if you don't take
Mm-hmm.
action, you're not, like you said, you're not learning, you're not asking questions. But like when I launched my business, I knew about marketing, but I didn't think of Pinterest like that. And now if I hadn't even tried, then I wouldn't have landed here, like it was a bumpy roller coaster of
Mm-hmm.
an experience, but I'm able to work 100% on my own. I have the time freedom. Like I got to run errands today. I still got some client work done. I still got more client work to do, but my business is growing but I still got in the middle of the day to run errands to get some stuff done to make my afternoon a little bit easier because we have soccer this evening. My son is homesick today. Well, if I had to work full-time job and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have paid time off, well, we would be in a world of trouble. So thankfully, I don't have to deal with that. So let's think about ways to strengthen that initiative muscle. And I love, like I said, I love taking, I prefer baby steps, but they're actionable. Baby steps are actionable and they're not as overwhelming because you're taking the big idea and you're breaking it down into bite-sized pieces that allow you to either hone in on building that initiative muscle or help you balance taking initiative on maybe one or two things, because this is a skill that you can develop 100%. So number one is one way to strengthen that skill, this skill, not the skill, is ask yourself, what would future me think me for doing today? This is really hard, but this is leadership in the making, of being able to work in the now, present, but also like left side is doing this and right side is staying like on the horizon, what's coming. Like you have to be able to do both at the same time. And that this type of question helps you spot those opportunities before they're obvious, because things you do today are how you build the business you're working towards. Like you're building a business you actually like working at.
Yeah. Number two, again, don't wait for permission. Do what you can to build your business. And if you are noticing something is not working, try something different and just don't wait for that perfect yes.
Because it's never going to happen. So exactly. And then the last one is, like I was saying, baby steps. Take micro initiative every single day. It doesn't have to be a big leap. It may feel like a big leap, but don't make every day about some ginormous situation. The big leap could be just, I'm going to start my business today. I'm going to stop planning and preparing and writing down things. I'm just going to launch my business and share it with the world. Or like, that's a big leap. It could be as simple as writing that social media post you've been overthinking. It could be setting up that workflow that you've been overthinking. And that's me calling myself out. Shout out to Cassandra with AI Homegirl, because she helped me with a whole lot of things that I have been overthinking for like 3 months. And we got it done in an afternoon. Follow up with a lead, just a simple follow-up. It could even be a message. Don't even make it salesy. Like, hey, I remember last time we were talking about a project that you were coming up with, wanted to see how it's going and how I can support you. Don't even talk about your business. Just do a genuine check-in. Or testing out a new tool. When you do an audit on your business, especially this time of year, then you notice that you have more tools than you're utilizing, maybe you need to cut some, and that can be initiative. Or test out a new tool to replace one that's costing you more money, and this one's more cost effective but can do the same thing. Because momentum, again, comes from motion, and that's action.
Exactly. I love these action things to take initiative, especially like the micro one. That is like my thing. I used to overthink too much, and that's what made me feel overwhelmed in my work, because I thought like I had to do everything all at once. And then again, taking those baby steps helps with the less overthinking. You're just like, okay, that's done. Okay, cool. Like, let's move on to the next thing. Yeah, every small step is going to build your confidence to make bigger ones later. So, all right, confession time. I used to think initiative meant doing more work.
Same. I feel like we were talking about earlier, I think we always think, oh, I need to do more. And that may be just women entrepreneurs, but I'm going to call us out. But we always think about how we can add more or do more or fit more into our day. And that's not always the best idea.
No, definitely not. You know what I've been doing? I've been having lazy days on the weekend. Like I kid you not. Sundays, I'm like, I'm not doing nothing today. And I think a couple weekends ago, I literally laid on the couch until I had to cook dinner. Like, I was like, I'm not doing nothing today. And I think, and I, knowing the facts that I did take initiative, I did what I had to do. And maybe it is a women entrepreneur thing, a mom thing, whatever, but like, we are constantly on the go, I feel like, but I've learned that initiative is often you got to simplify things. When you take ownership early, you avoid all the problems later. I mean, obviously there's some problems that are going to come up that are out of our control, but if we kind of step back and simplify things, cutting down the cost of what tools, like Dana was saying, like if we're able to cut this out of our business because we're not using it anymore, like if this platform is not working for our business, get off of that platform, stick to one thing, simplify things. If you're overwhelmed and burnt out and overthinking, you're just going to say, I want to quit. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, what am I doing? All these what ifs and thoughts you don't want to think about come to mind. But yeah, so I think that's a good lesson, is like to simplify things. Keep it simple.
I love that. So if you have followed along this far, here is your unsolicited advice of the week. And that is, stop waiting for validation. If you have an idea, test it. I don't care if it happens in the middle of the night, you're walking on the treadmill, you're having a lazy day on the weekend. If you have an idea, do not wait for someone else to tell you it's worth doing. Try it. Do market research, because sometimes the opportunity you're waiting for is the one that you're supposed to create, not one that someone's created for you. So if you've been sitting on an idea, waiting for the right time or the right person to give you the go-ahead, here it is from me. Dana, the part of the duo of Entrepreneur Encounter. This is your sign to take initiative. Start before it feels ready. Just because from personal experience and almost anyone and everyone I've ever talked to, this big perfect plan that you've probably mapped out on a Google Doc and spreadsheet is going to change the instant you launch your business, because you're going to learn something new, or you're going to realize, this does not fit my season of life, and you're going to change it. It's always going to change in some way, shape, or form. So just start and learn as you grow.
Yes, don't be afraid to do it. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm leaving this part of my life. Next chapter, that chapter is over. Start my business. I had no idea what I was doing. Said, hey, to the online world, I'm doing X, Y, and Z in my business. And 2 months later, I got my first client. So you never know.
I'll say that too, because like when I did weddings, I never talked about it on social media and Facebook groups, nothing. I did not know what people were going to think, and I didn't want comments. I didn't want to have to keep explaining myself. And obviously, I mean, my business didn't tank. I had clients coming in, but it was harder because I wasn't allowing other people to be my referral system of letting people know what I do. So when they're out in their community and their networks and they had heard someone's niece was getting married and needed someone, then they didn't know to share my business. So that was one thing that going into this, I was like, we are just going to have to talk about it, because a successful business isn't going to come from waiting. A successful life isn't going to come from waiting. Like, it's acting with intention. And so I intentionally talk to everyone in certain ways, in certain aspects of what it is that I'm doing, what I'm building, my struggles, my successes. And over time, it's made taking initiative easier. It's made it more sustainable, and it's had the best ROI in more than one way.
I'm happy for you, Dana, and I'm happy for everybody else that is listening. And I mean, you got this. Do it. Just take the leap. Whether it's growing visibility through Pinterest marketing or streamlining your podcast operations and team management, we help business owners and creatives build sustainable systems that work for them, not against them. All of the information is going to be in our show notes. Until next time.
Thanks for spending time with us today. If something in this episode gave you a fresh perspective, share it with a friend or send us a DM. We love hearing how these conversations land with you.
And if you're curious about how soft skills can support your next season of growth, we each have more resources to share.
You can find Dana on Instagram at danas.desk.nc for Pinterest strategy and intentional marketing.
And Sarah at URembert for team development, business leadership, and podcast support.
Until next time, keep leading with purpose
and growing with intention.